It's my bad. Hello. Hi.
Hello. You're just a tad bit flustered at the
A
moment.
little. I don't even know what mic is being picked up right now. So we're going to pick that out. But hey, guys, welcome.
Happy
Welcome.
Saturday.
Yes. Okay, good. So it's using my headphones. Good. So I'll get that in front of my face. All
Okay.
right. Welcome to TBR Lowdown.
How's it going?
I'm a hot freaking mess, as usual.
You are having a time.
I am, yeah. Anyway, so hi, we're here to talk about homegoing.
Yeah, the fact that we kept saying homecoming. Oh, I know I kept saying homecoming off and on. I would say homegoing, then homecoming, then back and forth. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
all the time.
homegoing.
Homegoing. Yeah. Let me just say that with homegoing, for
Mhm.
whatever reason, I just could not keep all the characters straight.
No,
I don't know why. Like I didn't have this problem with the love songs of W.E.B. Du Bois, and that was certainly a much larger, you know, cast of family members. But for this one, I just kept getting confused who was who the whole time. I don't know why. I don't know why.
wow. I felt like it was kind of easier because every chapter was literally a different generation.
I know, but then I kept forgetting who's connected to who the whole time.
Really?
The whole time. And I just found this so interesting because I did not have that problem with love songs. And love songs has many more people.
I know. Wow.
I was able to keep that together, but for whatever reason with homegoing, I don't know. I just kept losing track of people.
I didn't even think of that.
I just kept losing track. I don't know what it was about this book that I just could
That
not keep
confused
people
you?
straight. I couldn't keep them straight.
I thought it was fantastic. Sorry for the yawning. I thought it was fantastic how they did it, though. How she covered that lengthy of a period of time in a
Hmm.
300-page book. That was my biggest concern. I was like, "Oh god, how is this? Am I gonna what's going
Yeah.
on?"
Yeah.
And
I know
she
you
did a
mentioned
great
that at
job.
the start of us reading it. Yeah.
Well well, we'll get into all the stuff. So did you start rereading it? Is that what you said to me the other day? You started rereading Homegoing?
Well, there were some parts that I was listening to while working, and so I tried to go back to fill those blank spaces in.
Mhm.
And then like there's parts at the end, like towards the end of the book that I need to go back to, but I didn't get a chance to go back. So we'll see. We're gonna have a great conversation regardless.
I hope so.
The book that I need to go back to, but I didn't get a chance to go back. So
Oh,
oh,
sorry.
was that me? Did I do something?
That was me. That's the
Okay.
dingus. I'm a ding dong. Don't mind me. It's been a long week. I have a new shirt.
Oh, it's so cute.
It's from
I also
Emergent
like the
Realms.
one
It's
that you
cute.
had on in your latest video for your notable reads. That shirt was really cute too.
My villain shirt? Is that what I
No,
wrote?
the Hello Lovely one. What did it say? I don't
Villain.
know. Did it? I don't know. Whatever
Yeah.
it was cute. It
Thank
was
you.
cute.
I have a lot of shirts.
You do. You have a ton of shirts. I can't keep up.
Well, yeah. I have
Hmm.
problems. Anyway.
Hmm. Hmm.
Well, Laura, so how do you want to start? You want to start like usual?
Yeah. Currently reading or just finished.
Currently reading or just finished? You want to go?
I yes. So I
Ah, yes.
I have been reading this book called Paradise Falls
Oh, yes.
by Keith O'Brien, and it's coming out from Pantheon, I believe, on April 12th.
Mhm.
Um, Paradise Falls: The True Story of an Environmental Catastrophe. This book, first of all, I'd never heard of this situation that happened up in Niagara Falls. This is pretty effing awful.
What is that?
So,
Because I feel like I've read about this, but maybe I'm thinking of another thing that we did as people that was terrible to a town.
this is so bad. So, in Niagara Falls, you've got this residential community, and kids start getting sick,
Mhm.
and people start getting sick, and these weird looking like drums start popping up out of the ground, And what happened was this company called Hooker Chemical,
Mhm.
there was this plot of land that they use as a dumping site for their chemicals. Okay. And then years later, they built a school on top of that ground and a residential community around that land. And so all these kids are getting sick because those chemical drums are popping up. And I guess
Yeah.
things have already like seeped through the actual land. Like people's backyards look like slush environmental catastrophe dumps in their backyard. People can smell the fumes from these chemicals coming up through their basements, through their walls, through their sinks. Women are having miscarriages. There's an increase in
What?
depression. Kids are getting sick. People have all kind of respiratory, kidney, liver issues, skin issues. Um, this one little girl was they, the kids go outside, they're playing on the grounds, and this one little girl, they were playing with the rocks, these white rocks, and she was playing with the rocks, and she touched her eyes and like went blind for a moment and had to go to the hospital. Like there's so much going on, and so in the midst of this, people are trying to figure out why are we getting sick, and like Hooker Chemical, whatever they're called. Of course, they're passing off blame. The Board of Education is like, well, it's not like everyone's passing off the blame.
Yeah, because nobody
And
wants
it's
to take credit for that. Oh my god.
exactly. And it's so sickening and so disgusting how people are so concerned about, their company's bottom line or their political position or how they're going to campaign to get around this.
Mhm.
It's so disgusting and so enraging. You just want to burn everything down.
Gross. Hate
I'm
it.
I'm not done yet with the book. I'm only on so I stopped at page 211, which is chapter 33, the start of chapter 33. And I think I've got another 150 pages to go.
Mhm.
But this is just really, really deep. And it's the kind of book where you're Googling
Mhm.
people and scenarios as you're reading it.
You want a
It's
face.
it's bonkers what's going on. It's insane. It's insane. And then something really awful happened that like had me in my bed just crying my eyeballs out. I mean, just it gutted me. It gutted me.
So I need to read the e-arc they sent me of
You
that.
really, really
Mm.
do. I never heard of Paradise Falls, and I didn't know anything about this. So it's quite the read. I think everyone should read it.
'Cause I know there's other towns that have had things like this happen, similar sorts of stories.
And they mentioned that in here.
Mhm.
Because as this is going on in this particular neighborhood, they were mentioning like, oh, well, because Hooker Chemical had other dumping sites in
Mhm.
other cities. And so they
Mhm.
were like, oh, and at the same time, this same thing is starting to occur, in this area and in that city. And it's so gross. And, class and race play a part in this. It's a lot going on. You're talking about people in these homes, and now there's no property value because now it's like
Yeah.
a disaster area.
You spent
Everybody just
money.
can't up and leave. So how are they going to
No.
go? And then there's also this apartment community. It's like Section 8, but they call it something else where you get like help from I guess the state to pay for your rent, like low income housing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right. So and they are also experiencing the same issues, but they're not being paid attention to because they're not homeowners, they're renters. So you're dealing with
Yeah.
that. And that it's so much happening. It is so distressing and disturbing reading what these people went through.
I
It's
should
a
have
must
gotten a
read.
coffee. Oh my god,
It's
okay,
it's a
yeah.
must read.
Okay, okay, so I'll have to read that one. I
Yes,
do
please
have
do,
the e-arc of
everyone.
it.
Paradise Falls: The True Story of an Environmental Catastrophe by Keith O'Brien, coming out April 12th from Pantheon.
So,
Thank you, Pantheon, for this arc.
I have a very different kind of book, and it's the reason why I was late. Because I was reading Mary Oliver's Dog Songs. I didn't know you were gonna cover, environmental catastrophes and, like, but this is, after that, and if you like dogs, you can read this. It's just a collection of her writings about her dogs,
If you need to
and
be lifted up a little bit.
they were lovely. There's some beautiful pen and ink drawings of I
Oh,
assume
that's
are
so
her dogs,
cute.
and They're cute. They're good. This one was funny. This one made me laugh. The wicked smile. Please, please. I think I haven't eaten for days. What, Ricky? You had a huge supper. I did. My stomach doesn't remember. Oh, I think I'm fading away. Please make me breakfast. I'll tell you something you don't know. He ate rapidly. Okay, I said. What are you going to tell me? He smiled the wicked smile. Before we came over, Anne already gave me breakfast, he said. Be prepared. A dog is adorable and noble. A dog is true and loving friend. A dog is also a hedonist. I thought they were
That's
sweet.
adorable and right up your alley because you are a dog mom.
I am a dog mom, and that only took me about like I don't know, half an hour to read. It was good.
Yeah,
We
that's so
loved that.
good.
So yeah, little diversion from Paradise Falls.
Yeah. Oof, yeah, it's heavy.
Yeah,
It's heavy.
it's clearly something else.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
also you can't when you're in it, you just want to keep reading, keep reading, keep reading.
I'm trying to think of the one I'm thinking of. There was like a town where something about the roads, like they basically like covered the town in something toxic and then tried to like cover it up with like dirt or something like that, and everyone got like, that kind of crazy stuff.
Yeah,
Where like how was this allowed?
it's terrifying.
It is
It's
really
really
terrifying.
terrifying. Yeah.
But I mean, like people still don't have clean water in Flint, Michigan, right? So
Right. Right. And
we
God
haven't
knows,
we haven't learned a damn thing. So
well, we just never do we? We
no,
just keep on repeating the same mistakes.
I think I really think you should read Goliath. By the way,
I am definitely going to
speaking
read
of
that.
Flint, Michigan, I mean there is it. Yeah, there's a lot of things today that get talked about that are in that book that is done really interestingly.
Oh. You keep giving me like little nuggets of what's in that book, and all those nuggets are very interesting.
It's a
I
very
think I'll put it on
interesting
hold at
and
my
well
library.
it's a very interesting and well-written book, and I think it's the kind of book that you would like because you don't mind, like, non-linear, weird
Right.
structures. Um, I know there's other people who can't handle that, and it gets confusing, so but
I'm gonna put it on hold at the library, but I'm gonna choose a active hold date of May 1st.
okay. Whatever gets you through all of your library holds, Naomi. All 900 of
You
them.
know what? I canceled a lot of them. Some
Yeah?
I canceled, and others I changed the active date to like May or June
Mhm.
because I got to get through this international booker list, and I got to finish my women's long list as well.
You know what's, expiring today? The
What?
Books of Jacob. You can play taps for that shit. I'm just letting it expire.
Oh boy, when we have this discussion about Olga Tokarczuk, it's going to be very interesting.
I might attempt to finish it at some point, but not now. It is not today. It is not this week. It is not this time. We shall discuss.
Wow.
We shall discuss at some point.
Yes, we shall.
Also, I feel like I smell coffee because I think Keynes just made coffee, and now I want coffee.
Maybe he can
But
bring you some. Can you text him?
I can ask.
Okay, I just put my
Oh,
hold in for Goliath with an active date of May 1st.
beautiful. Yeah. So you want to talk about homegoing?
Homegoing. A plus, A plus, A plus, A plus.
So is that you saying it's 5 stars?
I gave it 4. I
I
gave
don't
it
remember
4.
what I gave it. I definitely got a high rating. I just can't
Yeah.
remember. Hold on. We'll pull up the good old trusty Bookly.
Yeah, I gave her 4 stars. I think she's an incredible writer.
I gave it
I
5.
really do.
Actually, I gave
Oh,
it a
whoop,
solid
whoop
5.
to do. There you go. There you
But I
go.
wasn't confused. Apparently that's the big difference. And I mean, it's tabbed.
Yeah, oh, wait. You can barely see my lights. My lights right in front of me. The confusion is on me, not on her. I just don't know why my brain wasn't keeping the people together. But it wasn't. I don't think it was her. You know what I
No.
mean? Just for whatever reason, just could not keep it together. It's fine. It happens. It's fine. It's fine. So
I don't know. I mean, I love her writing. Transcendent Kingdom was so
Ugh,
good,
wasn't it
and
though?
I just yeah, I had high hopes and she met them.
Yeah.
I really love this, and I love how there's this theme running through it constantly of this idea of, like, cyclicalness, like, everything
Mhm.
is cyclical, like, you're
Mhm.
never really escaping your trauma, you're never really getting out of there's just, like you're just kinda stuck on, like, once things get tipped for this family, there's
Yeah.
kind of just always this cycle of something that's
Right.
un unescapable,
Mhm.
and I don't know, I think she's wonderful. She's fantastic.
I would agree, and I am eagerly awaiting her next project,
So is
and
this
I
her
have no doubt it will be amazing.
so is this her debut?
This is her debut.
And then Transcendent Kingdom's her 2nd book?
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
So that's all we have. I've read them all then. Okay,
Yeah.
so I have no
That's
other
it.
books.
That's it. I mean, I wish we had more.
Yeah.
What do we always say? Like when you find an author that you really jive with, you hope that they have a lot on their backlist. When
Yeah.
and if they're new, it's like, oh, we have to wait. We have to wait for the next work of yours.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So, I mean, I you know me, I like to Google some questions to give us some whatever,
Mhm.
direction. Considering we can't get the title correct, what do you think about the title Homegoing? Because I thought homegoing was also something that also refers to like funerals or
It
going
is in the black
right
church,
in
at
the
least.
black
I don't
church.
know how it is, but we
I
always
mean,
say a homegoing service.
I've never heard that outside of in reference to like the black church. So
Yeah,
I
yeah,
can
we
only
always refer to funerals as a homegoing service.
so do you feel like that works with this title, or does it have like, this book, or does it have a different meaning?
Uh, It doesn't feel I don't
It
feel the
doesn't feel
homegoing
f I was
connection
expe
for this book. So I don't really know what she means by it. You know what I mean? I'm
or
not sure what she means by it, but
I
I don't
mean,
know.
is it just about returning back home? I mean, there is this again, the cyclical nature of
Yeah.
leaving Ghana and then kinda coming back,
Yeah.
later in life. Um, not later in life, later in generations.
Mhm.
I mean, I don't know, I guess because I understood that term, I thought it was gonna be more funereal, and it wasn't.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So definitely a different idea of a connection with that word homegoing.
Yeah,
But that
because
being said, yeah, I
I
thought it
def
was quite the story.
I definitely got very upset with the church parts of this book, the missionary
The mi
parts of this book.
the missionaries. Mhm.
Missionaries do not they do not spark joy. I'm happy she tackled the sort of abuse of that the church does do. It's I'm gonna say does because I think they still do it. Maybe not to the same way as it
Yeah.
is in this particular book and at these particular periods in time, but there's still this like, I'm gonna go save you, and that's gonna save me. And
Mhm.
there's no understanding of these people don't need your saving. Like
Right, it's strange because on the surface it looks like they're being helpful, but it's really just about them
yeah.
and whatever guilt or whatever they're dealing with on the inside. The act of quote unquote saving another person, they're looking to absolve them of whatever they feel they've done wrong or not good enough in their own lives as humans.
Yeah.
And it feels extremely perverse at times, really
Mhm.
perverse. Where's that line? I'm looking for this line that
I mean, who was our the crazy woman? I mean, she was the one, Akua.
Yeah.
I mean, Akua is the victim of that abuse, and then
Yes.
she gets victimized because of her trauma,
Mhm. Mhm.
and it's so sad for me to read. Um,
It was an
I kn
earlier part with Akua and that missionary man, and she was describing, like, how he looked at her, and, it would just kinda, like, made me sick a little bit. She
I think
said something like, "He looked at me with, like, such hunger."
ugh, yeah.
When I find the line, I'll read it. I did tab it, but, I don't know,
I
it just oof.
yeah, I did have the part where she was talking about, Asamoah
Mhm.
was not
Mhm.
the best choice, her husband, but he was the sure one, and Akua was
Yeah.
happy to accept his proposal. Up until then, she had thought she would have had to stay with the missionary forever, playing his strange game of student, teacher, heathen, savior. But with
Mm.
Asamoah, she saw that maybe her life would be something different from what she had always imagined it would be.
What page is
And, like,
that?
that's on 185 in mine. I know we have different editions.
Oh, that's what
Um,
we do. Mhm.
but, I mean,
Oh, there it is. That's my line.
just think about having, like, that strange game. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's
It's
not
almost like
about
it's an
saving.
unwanted game of cat and mouse. Ugh,
Yeah.
it's very gross to me. The
Eh
line is, "The missionary looked hungry, like if he could, he would devour me." That
Mhm.
just kind of disgusted me on a real internal level.
Yep.
Mm,
For nearly 10 years, she had filled the missionary's hunger.
mm. It's disgusting, right?
It's really
It's
gross.
perverse.
And
It's
it's
very perverse.
and it's how many atrocities have been committed because somebody is
Mhm.
twisting a faith to justify their actions, and that's
Exactly.
just disgusting. And
Exactly.
I'm glad that it's brought up in here for many reasons, including the fact that faith was used to justify slavery.
Can we tap on that for a minute? Because there was this one part in the beginning. See, here I am messing up names already.
There's a family
Um,
tree.
right? So it was it Afia?
There was an
She
Athea.
yes, Afia. So it was Afia when she was talking with the other
Mhm,
young girl, and they were talking about how she hadn't become pregnant yet,
mhm.
and she was going to help her and gather some roots
Oh,
and
yeah,
all
the
this
roots.
stuff. And then she does her thing, and he sees the roots, which the other
Mhm,
girl was like, make sure he doesn't see them because he will think they're evil. And when he
mhm,
says to her, "Now, Afia, I don't want any voodoo or black magic in this place. My men can't hear that I let my wench place strange roots under the bed. It's not Christian." And I
mhm.
and I wrote a little notice like, they really do pick and choose
Yep,
when to be quote unquote Christian.
'cause
It's such a strange,
he's got a whole wife and family at home.
a whole bunch of family at home, and then a whole rack of slaves at the bottom of the ship
Well, the castle.
or
Well, and the
castle.
ship, and the ship.
Yeah, you know
Um,
what I mean? It's just like that dichotomy of when and how you choose to be Christian was just so
and we talked about
wild to me.
this while I was reading it, like, why this guy was like all these men were so fixated on, like, sowing their seeds and, like, making these babies. And think about today, like, no man men might wanna have a lot of wenches, but most of them don't wanna make babies with all of them. They're
Right,
like, "Please don't make any babies."
right.
And when did that flip? Was it when they finally had to have responsibility for their blow by like, their what are they called? Blow-bys? What is it called?
Yeah, I know that word you're looking for. Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know. I
'cause
don't know.
it read really weird to me be in, like, a modern mindset, because the
Mhm.
way she says it, and I wonder if she phrased it that way, and I wish I could find it, but, like, he was just so fixated on having a kid, and I'm just whew, I'm not used to that. I'm just used to, like,
Yeah.
No, that's not what you hear in
I don't
everyday
know. Or
life.
are men still like that and we just don't, I mean, I don't know. Men, any men listen to this podcast? Any?
Uh,
Let us know. You know, the other part that really made me sad and also disgusted me at the same time was when, who was it? I don't know. One of the ladies said, there are women down there who look like us,
mhm,
and our husbands must learn to tell the difference. I was like,
mhm.
ooh, this just, it just does not sit right in my spirit with that thought
Yeah.
because she's absolutely correct. But
Yes.
the fact that you have to aid him and tell him the difference between the slaves that you've captured versus the one you decided to let be free to bed is just gross to me and quite
Mhm,
disturbing.
mhm. It's disgusting. And, I just don't know how you live on top of that and you're like, "This is fine."
Yeah.
'Cause sure you can't see it unless you try, but I'm damn sure you can hear and smell it. And,
Isn't that what one
like,
of them said? Like sometimes our husband, you know, when he comes
you
to
smell
bed, he smells of
just
feces and
feces and
all of that stuff.
it's just
It's
so
just,
disgusting. It's so disgusting. And the tr the way these leaders in these are they tribes or just different communities or
mhm.
however they're manipulated by these white men. You know, they come and like in the beginning, right? The guy comes and everyone's like translating for him, but you can tell there's this like distance, like
Yeah.
they're pretending to care um
But also too,
to get the things that they want.
right, but didn't you also kind of feel like these chiefs, you know, were kind of down with it because it was going to help their community flourish
Yeah,
financially and, you know, they were more than willing to help aid in giving them people,
but they weren't their people, right? Weren't they just giving them like other people that they had captured?
but still.
I know, but like they were I'm not I'm not saying it's okay. What I'm saying is that, like, in their thought process, they're like, "Oh, I'm protecting all of my people," but it's the still othering. They're othering
Yeah, yeah.
another group.
And it's, and I guess this is where greed makes you blind and stupid because
Mhm.
as you're othering, it doesn't occur to you that this could also happen to you
Yeah,
because it could.
because if the balance of power switches.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
do think that, coffee has arrived. Thank you, my love. Oh, and he brought it in a Deathless Divide mug.
Oh, that's perfect.
Is that what the first book is called? No, right? The
No,
first book's
that's the
called
second one.
what is the
Dread
first
Nation.
Dread Nation, there we go.
Mhm.
Dread Nation. Oh, there's no creamer in here. Hey, Zeus.
We need creamer, sir.
Creamer? You're so mean to me. I know you're not my butler. I would never tell my butler I love you. I mean, maybe it depends on how cute he is. Um, Anywho, I do think that like Effie's mom, as estranged as that relationship was, or Effia,
Afia.
I think her
Afia.
mom was actually saving her. I think her mom knew how that if she could get her out of the village and get her
Mhm.
into the castle, she would
Mhm.
have a better life. So she kept her.
I'm on the fence.
You're on the fence? Do you think she was just trying to get rid of her?
Mhm. Yeah.
That's how you read it?
That's how I
Ooh,
read it.
let's go. Let's
Yeah,
debate. I
I
read it
really read
like
it like looking at Afia was like a because at the time I don't think we had yet known what the deal was with Afia and ba- Baba. These names, I'm sorry.
the dad.
Um, the dad. So, but you did get the sense that for whatever reason, um, She would rather her not be in her presence at all. And it did feel like it was she just wanted to be rid of her. I didn't feel like she was trying to protect her from anything really. But I don't know. You see it as protection. I don't know.
I kind of do because the fact that she had to hide the fact that had gotten her period. I feel like that's something that I think she knew that she would just be like sold off to somebody and that she could do better than whoever she was going to be given.
See, I was thinking that she was telling her to hide her period because she didn't want her to marry that new chief because then she'd be stuck there with them. I felt like she was being very strategic and getting her out
Yeah,
in a
I felt like she
way.
wanted her out not because of the like you remind me of my husband's cheating, but more because a woman's lot is not that great.
I don't
And
think she
maybe your
cared that
life will
much.
be better. Am I
I
giving
don't
her
think she
more
cared about.
empathy? Am I
I
giving
don't
her
think she
more
cared that.
empathy?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I really don't think she cared that much about her outcome. I think that she wanted to be rid of her.
Perhaps
Period. That's it.
perhaps I'm projecting.
Oh,
I don't know.
interesting. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, she did essentially save her though, because that branch avoided certain things, not everything.
But I think there's a difference in you actively putting a plan in place to save someone versus something terrible you
Accidentally.
did ended up actually being a blessing in disguise for the other
I
person.
mean, I would like to know what other people think. Am I just projecting my I have too much empathy onto this character? Because I literally said her mother tried to save her. Like it literally is written here.
Oh, mm-mm. Folks, weigh in. If you've read Homegoing, what did you think about this relationship? Do you think the mother was trying to save her, or do you think she was trying to get rid of her?
I just feel like sometimes parents do things that we don't understand until later, and they're more positive than we originally thought.
Well, not how this book is written.
That's what I was
because
thinking when I read that.
because right, like her brother even says, like he loved his sister once, right? But then his mother basically hated her so much that he began to hate her too. It's like she took it to the grave.
Fine.
She took it to the grave.
Maybe I'm just too nice.
You know, look, nice story. It would have been a nice story. Like, oh, she wanted to save her, but oh no. Mm-mm.
Mhm.
I think if
Mhm.
she could have gotten away
Mhm.
with murdering her, she would have murdered her
I don't know why she couldn't have gotten away with murdering her. I mean,
because the dad would then murder her.
okay, fine.
You know what I mean?
Fine.
I love how you wanted her to be this, you know, protective mom.
I must. Yes,
We need.
yes, it was revealed it wasn't her real mother.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
I still apparently want to see the best in all human beings, even bad ones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. When that part was
Even bad
revealed,
nonfiction ones or
I
fiction
did
ones.
I did one of these when that part I was like, I was like, whoop. Like, oh, I was not expecting that. I was like, okay. Fire is such a big theme all throughout this book, right?
Mhm.
Fire, fire, fire.
Yes.
Oh man.
I don't even know how we're gonna talk about all this. This could be a lot.
It's labo. You know, we'll do our best. We'll do our best.
Yeah. I mean, oh, what is this part? Because I just have this little note that says how easy it is to pass on hate. I feel like that's another thing that like there's so many different prejudices that come through. You see it from like the different groups.
Mm-hmm.
Um, on the Gold Coast, you see this.
Was that Mercy?
Mercy, yes, she's having a moment.
She does not like hate.
She does not like hate. She's a love bug.
That's right.
Um, no, and I just feel like you just keep going on. And was this? Oh, yes.
Yes,
So
and the
this
fear
is
of water, yes.
yes, this is
Mhm, mhm.
yes, I mean, why wouldn't you have a fear of water? I mean, come on.
Yeah,
I mean, that's deep rooted. So this is for Essie, and the first time she saw this is when she says she remembered the first time she'd seen an elder spit on the captives in the town square. The man had said, Northerners, they are not even people. They are the dirt that begs for spit. Essie was 5 years old then. His words had felt like a lesson, and the next time she passed, she timidly gathered her own spit and launched it at a little boy who stood huddled with his mother. The boy
mhm.
had cried out, speaking a language Essie didn't understand, and Essie had felt bad not for having spit, but for knowing how angry her mother would have been for her to see it.
Yeah,
And it's like just
yeah.
how easy it is to turn
Mhm.
people towards hate, especially when you're a little person and you
Right,
see what the elder people are doing.
and you think, "Well, that must be the right way.
Mhm.
That must be what I'm supposed to do." Can we talk about these parts were so hard. That part, with, Essie being in the dungeon,
Mhm.
and I have to say that the way these scenes were written in this deep descriptive manner
Mhm.
was so hard to read, but I think so important so that you just really understood the gravity of that situation. I don't think it would have served the story well to, kind of glide over what was really
Mhm.
happening. I mean, she went deep in the detail about the feces and just not being able to control or keep anything down, and
Yeah.
how all of it is spreading through it was gross. It was gross, but I do think it was so important to really tell
It
this part of the story.
was disgusting. So
Mhm.
and we shouldn't be I think we've done enough collectively for a number of generations of trying to, like, soften how
Mhm.
horrific this was to make it somehow palatable in
Yeah,
retrospect, and it's not palatable.
exactly.
Nothing about it is palatable. Like,
Exactly.
you ke so, yeah, you should talk about the sounds and the sights and the smells and just you should be nauseous reading this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, it's
It
horrendous. It's
and
oh,
it and it
it's
and it did make me nauseous. It really, it hit me there.
mhm.
It hit me in the not so good spot.
Yeah,
That's
I
for
know.
sure. Because
It's
I
hor
could visualize it,
yeah.
you know. I visualize everything when I'm reading. So, like, I read it and I saw it.
But the same sorts of feelings I had with that, I had with, what's his name? The one who ends up
Blindness. Oh, I keep thinking about blindness because of how
every time
descriptive.
every time the feces happens, you think of blindness.
I do. I do. Anyway.
Um, was it, yeah, H, when he's in
Mm.
the coal mines and
Mhm.
everything and he's on the chain gang and, like, everything he had to do, I
Yeah.
had the same sort of like, it's almost like a crushing feeling while you're reading it because
I felt like
your
I was being
heart
suffocated.
yeah. "Hey,
Mhm.
Shelby."
Hi, Shelby.
So there's just, like, this it crushes you to read
Yeah.
people being just broken down
Mhm.
to nothing. Um
And when H was talking about how every time he goes in the mine, he's like worried that it's just all gonna come just crushing down on him. It
Mhm,
was a very suffocating feeling reading
mhm.
those parts, and extremely terrifying because that can happen.
Yeah,
That can
I
happen.
can. Yeah,
And
it's,
how about when so you mentioned the H, and then we're going back to thinking about his parents.
mhm.
When that they were talking about that laws getting ready to be passed about, if you're
Yes.
a runaway or whatever, they could capture you, and you're hoping it doesn't happen, and then you start thinking, well, it's probably going to happen to the dad,
Mhm,
and then it ends up being the mother who's
mhm,
pregnant, and you're just
mhm,
like, What just happened? What just happened?" That was a very stressful part to read. You could just
mhm,
feel that man's anguish, his
mhm.
pain. It was extremely distressing. It almost brought me to tears.
It was and again, I just kept thinking about the cycle, like, there's this cyclical nature of everything in this book, and it's like, even when you start to get out of something, you're back. You just keep
Yes.
going in this, like,
Yes.
cycle of trauma. It's
It's
and you can't get
yes.
out of it.
It's almost like when they reach the brink of happiness,
Mhm.
they go back down into something horrific.
Mhm.
It's like they can never really just circle the sun of happiness. They
No,
like
they can
they
never
reach the
just
tip of it,
and
and then
then
it,
just
it
no, they
then
go
down
right back
down
down.
it goes.
Mhm.
Yeah. So there is this like roller coaster effect of trying to get to the happy part, trying to get to the happy part. Oh, almost missed it, and it's gone.
Mhm.
It's so
Mhm.
brief.
And it didn't end up setting. Like, every time you would
Yeah.
almost feel like somebody would get to be happy and something
Yes.
would just ruin it.
Yes. Yes. And it's such a devastating way, you
Mhm.
know?
And it what I like is how she makes those moments, um, they're all very they're big moments in, like, history kinda things. They're
Mhm.
legislative things, they're big things, they're not like a little plot device. They are
Right.
he uses real history to make that change in their lives
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
drive home just how horrifying it would be to feel finally free and to
Mhm.
be making a life and then be find out that the government's telling you, "Oh, no,
Exactly.
you're not really free anymore. Unless you were
E
born free, you're not free now."
exactly.
So how do you
Yep.
ever become free? Because you keep moving the goalpost, you keep changing the
Exactly.
rules. And the fact that you keep seeing that through every generation of this family, if that
Mhm.
doesn't paint a picture of how things work, especially in this country,
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know what will.
Mhm.
Because 'cause you just keep changing the rules. You say, "Oh, we're not we're gonna do this. Oh, look, this has been better. This is better now. This is
Right.
good. So we're gonna go underneath and we're gonna do something else to undermine that."
Exactly. Right. It's like, "Oh, you didn't get the memo? We're
Oh,
changing this
yeah.
now."
So now we're gonna change this little piece, which
Yeah.
totally negates everything we all just said, but, like,
Right.
go good on
Exactly.
us. Like,
Mhm.
mm,
Yeah.
um, the other part that because I know that we're at, like, 40 some odd minutes here, um, did you like how we got to passing again?
Yes. It's just so funny how we just everything does come back around to that at some point.
Mhm,
It's so interesting, but this is a big part of history is passing.
mhm.
It
But, like,
really is.
how horrendous is that moment when I had to read her husband just standing there and
Mhm.
watching. Oh, oh
Yeah.
God. I don't have words. It's so horrendous because she's working so hard and he I would hope is also working, but he also seems like he's also an asshole too because
Yes.
later he just goes. Was it Robert? Like he just
What's his name?
goes.
Don't ask me the name.
I
Yeah.
want to call him Robert. Maybe I just know a Robert and I don't like him. Yeah, it's Robert because Sonny's the son. Carson. Yeah. And then, like, how do you just like abandon? I mean, I get you have to survive,
Mhm.
but like, even, I mean, I don't know. It just seems, I mean, I guess you have to, right? Like, if you're in a world where if anybody finds out you're not what you say you are, you can't, y- you're at a severe disadvantage for living.
I
So, like,
yeah.
I get it, but also, like, I don't get it because you were married,
Right.
you have a child. Like,
Y
it's
y
not,
y exactly.
not just you.
Exactly. Exactly. So, how no, no. Why didn't your parental instinct to protect kick in versus
Why didn't
your
your
feeling of wanting to flee? Like,
Why
why did
didn't
that
your
outweigh
husbandly instinct to protect your wife, if at a
Yeah.
bare minimum you look at your wife like your chattel, like you would
Mhm.
still wanna protect your chattel. Do you know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know,
Ugh.
like, it's hard to imagine how scary that must have felt during that time because 'cause we're looking at it like, today.
Like, I'm not saying it's an easy decision, but,
And
like,
I just feel like there are some people no matter what the fear is, they're going to protect their family no matter what.
I mean,
And then there are others that are going to just run away.
go back a few generations when they were running away from the plantation
Mhm.
and they let the kid go
Yeah,
and sacrifice themselves.
that's right.
So,
Oh, that part was just like, "Oh,
and now you're
yeah.
kind of in a similar situation and
Yes.
no, you're not sacrificing yourself.
No.
No,
No."
no, no. But to
So,
see your father later and
mhm.
have him ignore you across the street,
Mhm. Heartbreaking.
I wanted to punch him and he's not real. Um,
Yeah. Yeah. But
bec
you mm,
because before that, there were these really beautiful scenes of domesticity, which I don't think, you were always getting, especially in, like, that kinda time period propaganda.
oh, for sure.
You get, like, all kinds of other things coming out, not, like, just these are normal people having, like, a domestic
And
life together, and you have these
exactly.
beautiful scenes like that, and then it ends up there.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah.
hate him so much.
Yeah. There are just so many heartbreaking moments in this book.
There really is, but I do think the ending, not to give away any of the endings, but I do think the ending was very beautiful
Mhm.
and really brings together these 2 lines of family
Yeah,
in a wonderful way, um,
I would agree.
and, like, a hope I hope for a better existence, you
Mhm.
know?
Mhm. 'Cause man, these people have endured some harsh times.
And it's generation after generation after
Mhm.
generation.
Yeah. And I not to mention just like with any family, all the various, secrets and
Mhm.
oh no, this person wasn't your real mother or oh, did
Yeah.
you know so and so is your sister? And we even had a queer moment in here in this book.
Yes, I did. I was like, "Ooh, queer.
Mhm.
We love it."
Yeah.
Oh, yes, here's my Robert part. It just says, "No, not Robert." When he walks in, I was like, "No, no, 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 don't be Robert. Oh, fuck, it's Robert."
Yeah. I don't know. This was an incredible read for me.
I feel like
But
I'm
man,
gonna have to
highly
reread
emotional.
it because there's too many, like, there's just too many things in
Mhm.
here. Um, I did like the little discussion about books that you had with, the one whose face is all burnt, Yaa, right?
Mhm.
Um, on the first day of the second term, Yaa watched his new students amble in. They were always well-behaved children. These boys, having been handpicked for their brightness and their wealth in order to attend school, learned the white man's books. In the walkways and on his way to his classroom, they would be so boisterous that it was possible to imagine them as they must have been in their villages, wrestling and singing and dancing before they knew what a book was, before their families knew that a book was a thing a child could want, need even. Then, once they reached the classroom, once the textbooks were placed in their small wooden desks, they would grow quiet, spellbound. They were so quiet on that first day of class that Yaw could hear the baby birds on his window ledge begging to be fed. Like,
Mm.
just you can give people knowledge, and
Yeah.
people want it.
Yeah, they're hungry for it.
Mhm.
They're
And then
absolutely hungry for it.
he goes on to talk about what is history and basically covers the whole issue that history is written by the people who win and the people with
Yeah,
the power.
that's
But
right.
history is more than that, but so you have to dig deeper because what you're gonna see at the surface level is only one side of the story.
Exactly.
He's
And it's
actually
framed from one perspective.
he sounded like a wonderful teacher, honestly.
Mhm. Mhm. Absolutely.
So, I liked him.
Absolutely.
And I like that he got a little love arc.
It's a beautiful story, you know, through all the trials and tribulations they've all gone through. It's still a very beautiful story.
Yeah,
And I do think this is a book that you would want to read again after some distance has maybe passed. Just read it again and see
and pick up some other things.
see what stands out to you.
And I feel like the women in this book were particularly important to the driving of these families. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, just even towards the end with Sonny and all of his issues, and this mom just keeping it together the best she
Yeah.
could and making those hard decisions. All of the like, I feel like it was really interesting to read this after reading Love Songs.
Yeah. Yeah. The woman endured so much
Mhm.
in this book. My back and my heart were breaking for them
Yeah.
at every turn, just dealing with so much, having to go through and endure so much, all the pressures that they put these women under.
Because most of the men were pretty terrible. I think some
Yeah.
of them were good. Like, Yaa was a good guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think H was kind of he had a lot of things, but
Mm-hmm.
overall, he was fairly decent, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Lots of traumas, but, he's fairly decent. But then
Mm-hmm.
there's just so
Yeah.
many bad ones.
Yeah.
Fucking
Uh,
Robert.
yeah. I feel like maybe I'll read this again next year. You know what I mean?
We should read it next year.
Yeah.
We can revisit this live and see how we feel.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But again, I think she's an incredible writer. I think she's an incredible
Mhm.
storyteller.
Mhm.
And I do love how different this book is from Transcendent Kingdom.
Mhm.
So it shows that she has the ability to, you know, write outside of one particular genre and really expand her literary prowess, which is
Yeah,
exciting because it makes me, think about, ooh, what is she going to tackle next for the third book? What is
I
that going to
know.
be about? What is that going to be like? That's exciting to me.
As long as she doesn't try to, like, hop genres like some people do.
But some people can do it well,
But some people can't.
and others should not.
You have someone in mind, Naomi.
Well, I've got a book in mind. I don't know why that book makes me so
Which
angry.
book makes you so angry?
Cherish Farah.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
still angry about that book, and I need to let it
Do you
go.
know
I need to let it go.
every time I see somebody review it and say they like it, which I have not seen many, but every time I see it, I just giggle and think of you.
I Every time I hear someone describe it as this like smart book or whatever, I'm like, dude, were we reading the same thing? I don't know. I don't know why this book makes me so angry, but it does. It just makes me so angry.
I feel like I
Anyway, I'm
need
gonna
to
let it
read
go.
it.
I'm gonna let it go.
I feel like I need to read it just to weigh in.
You know what? I kind of do want you to read it to weigh in because I want to know if you felt how I felt. Like I felt like the author was trying so hard to get me to buy in to this girl who's supposed to be, slightly wicked and kind of smarter than everyone in her wicked. I wasn't buying anything this author was selling me. Anything. I did not think this book was clever. I did not think that girl was bright or wickedly smart. I hated it there.
So I guess we're not
I
going to be
hated it
interviewing
there.
Bethany C. Morrow anytime soon.
I don't think we are. I don't think we are.
Not after this glowing review,
I'm so
Naomi.
listen, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I am not read what you want to
My
read.
ears are lopsided.
I'm not
And
gonna lie to you all.
this is inverted, so I can't figure well, now my ears are falling off. See, she's so upset my ears are falling off. Anyway,
Yeah.
I'll just have like slightly drunken ears. Anyway,
So
um
anyway, that being said, Homegoing was not a
Homegoing was
disappointment.
great.
It was fantastic.
It was really good.
It
And
really, really
there's
was.
so much more to talk about in here, but we'd be here for ever
Yeah.
because every chapter is like a journey.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh, so good. So good.
So well written.
I will read anything she writes. She's fantastic.
Anything. I I think that it's safe to say that for me, she's definitely an auto-buy author. Period. Like whatever she puts out,
Oh,
I'm going to buy it.
so
Oh,
oh,
them is fighting words. No, I'm just kidding. I liked Grown. I don't. It was not my favorite Tiffany D. Jackson book. I think my favorite Tiffany D. Jackson book is probably Monday's Not. So I'll go in order of me liking her books. Monday's Not Coming will be number 1 for me. Allegedly will be my number 2. I don't know. No, I changed that. Monday's Not Coming will be number 1. Let Me Hear a Rhyme will be number 2. I really like that book. And then Allegedly will be third, and then Grown, and then White Smoke.
I've only
Mhm.
read White Smoke, so
So for for the audience member who did not like Grown, just don't even go with Cherish Farrah. I don't.
I do feel like people have very not mixed feelings on Tiffany D. Jackson, but very strong feelings. It's like I
I agree.
love you or I
Mhm.
hate that woman. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
'cause that's what I get like when she comes up into a conversation. I feel like people just get really
Yes.
it's a
You're
little
right. You're
yeah.
absolutely right. But
Yeah.
she is, because you know half about YA, but I like her YA. Mhm.
I didn't mind White Smoke. I just thought it was predictable. I didn't think she needed to talk about how much the character wanted to smoke pot like so many times because I just don't think it's believable the
Mhm.
way it was being written. It was like written, it felt like it was like written by somebody who's never smoked pot.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah.
And so it just felt like very somehow unrealistic. And like, I don't know. I felt like her parents should have maybe gotten her a therapist like early in the story and maybe we
Yeah.
never would have gotten here. Like,
Yeah, I mean, White Smoke definitely was not my favorite. There's lots of things that I wish were different about White Smoke. But, you know, that being said, her next book, I'm going to read it.
I know you are because you are a fan.
I'm going to read it. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, do you have a book recommendation for
Oh
everybody?
boy, do I. I guess I'm on a nonfiction kick right now
Are
because
you? Are you?
I'm going to recommend Taste.
I still need to watch. I still need to read that.
Yes, you do, because you have it.
I do have it. I just haven't read it yet.
So I am a Stanley Tucci fan. I think he's a great actor. I really enjoy his work.
I love that man.
And oh my gosh, his show on CNN, Searching for Italy, it is a wonderful show. It is just number one, it's so well done. You learn a lot, and it's just 1000% enjoyable to watch. So anyway, if you are a fan of Stanley Tucci and if you love food, you should read Taste. I love how his love for food is just jumping off the pages.
Mhm.
You can really tell that food is a big part of his life. It's how he socializes with friends and family. It's what he did with his mother. It's beautiful to read. I love also, oh, you know what I didn't notice? How gorgeous is that?
Oh, the book is beautiful. It's a
I didn't
beautiful,
notice
beautiful
that.
book. Yeah.
But also, I really enjoyed how he wove in recipes, every few chapters. And so now I'm like, ooh, what am I going to make first? Because everything just sounds so delicious. And so if you love food, if you love Stanley Tucci, you really must read Taste. I do think this was very well written. He gives you a nice glimpse into his life. I love reading the parts about how well his mother cooked and how they would cook together. And I enjoyed every minute of it. But again, like his love for food just jumps out on every page. It was beautiful to read. And now I want to get his other books. Like I want to get the Tucci cookbook and the Tucci table for sure.
I mean, I'm here for it.
Hmm.
I have, I have like my weird reading genre is books that make you hungry. So
Yeah,
yeah.
it's
Um,
wonderful.
I feel like sometimes we have really good continuity between the things that we discuss, and we're just both all over the place just from our first two books to this one. But but I have the Left-Handed Booksellers of London by Garth Nix. And
Ooh.
I was trying to think of something to pick. This is always the hardest thing for me. But
Yes.
first of all, it's set in like an alternative sort of fantasy London in 1983, the year of our Lord Alyssa being
Mhm.
born. And I just thought it was really good. I'll read it to you. Susan Arkshaw is looking for her father, a man she's never met, crime boss Frank Thringley might be able to help her, but Susan doesn't get time to ask Frank any questions before he is turned to dust by the prick of a silver hat pin in the hands of an outrageously attractive Merlin. Merlin is a young left-handed bookseller, one of the fighting ones. With the right-handed booksellers, the intellectual ones, he belongs to an extended family of magical beings who police the mythic and legendary old world when it intrudes on the modern world. In addition to running several bookshops, Susan searches for her father. Search for her father begins with her mother's possibly misremembered or misspelled surnames, a reading room ticket, and a silver cigarette case engraved with something that might be a coat of arms. Merlin has a quest of his own to find the old world entity who used ordinary criminals to kill his mother. As he and his sister Vivian tread in the path of a botched or covered up police investigation from years past, they find this quest strangely overlaps with Susan's. Who or what was her father? Susan, Merlin, and Vivian must find out as the old world erupts dangerously into the new. It's really fast paced, and it's fun. It's got it's like a lot of books about books kind of fun.
Yeah.
And I just found it really great. And Merlin is this like sort of gender fluid character. Or like he is a he, but he just like outwardly he just wears whatever makes him happy. So he's like
Mhm.
constantly putting on like just crazy, wonderful, like just outfits.
I
And
love
he's
that.
I don't know, it was just like it was a blast to read. And yeah, I had a great time.
I
Like
love that.
it's not gonna change your world, but like you're gonna have a
Yeah.
good time. So
Well,
yeah.
that's what it's about, you know?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what it's about.
Yeah, I was going happy, lighthearted today, and you started
Well,
with
I started heavy. I started heavy with Paradise Falls. I did.
I'm
But
not
I'm
gonna
I'm ending on a good, tasty
I mean,
note.
I love that little bald man.
He's wonderful.
Mhm.
He's wonderful. So he even
He
talks
really is.
about his brief bout with cancer in here,
Aw.
which was really scary. He had a tumor in the back of his tongue,
Ugh.
and he couldn't it was inoperable at the time. It was
Mhm.
very I don't want to give it away. It was very scary. So thank goodness
Ugh.
he made it. My
No?
daughter's calling.
Oh,
Are
okay.
you okay? Okay, great. I'll call you back. There you
Bye.
go, folks. Motherhood never stops, even when your kids are grown.
Well, that depends on if you're a good mom or not.
I don't know if you notice, almost every time we're recording, she calls my oldest daughter.
Yes. Well,
Yeah,
she's it's yes. Well, anyway, thank you for everybody who did show up on the chat. We
we
appreciate you being
appreciate
here.
it.
And we will be doing this again in May. Where are we?
Where are
What
we?
month
We're
is it?
yes, we would be doing it in May. Oh, yes, yes. So our April book club pick is Battle Royale. Yes, thank you for holding that up. Let me tell you guys, I've already started, right? I've already finished part 1. Whoa. Guys, get on it. Get on it. It is good. It's gross. It's gross,
I
and
like
I'm
Gooding
enjoying it.
Girls.
Yeah, it's gross, and I'm enjoying it.
It's Lord of the Flies.
Now, if you are planning on getting the audiobook, because I am listening to the audiobook and reading along,
Naomi's gonna
and I
go, don't.
well, I'm not going to say don't, but I do want you all to know it's not the greatest audiobook, okay? So don't be expecting great
Ooh.
narration or full cast, or it's just very meh and dry, just FYI.
Wait, I haven't started this yet because I read it closer to the end because my little pea brain can't remember things. I didn't realize at the end of every so much chapters they tell you how many students are remaining.
Oh, yes, they do, ma'am.
I have to start this. I
It's
just
like a
finished.
countdown to kids dying.
I should not be so excited that you just said that. And
Yeah.
I just finished Babylon's Ashes, so I can add this in.
It's really good so far.
But isn't this also a manga?
Yes, it is.
I feel like it
And the
also needs.
manga was just remastered. So I know you're into manga right now. You may want to check that out, because when I look on like Barnes and Noble, it says, Battle Royale, whatever, remastered. So it's probably even
Ooh.
more beautiful than it was initially.
What does Amazon say?
So, anyway, this is our April pick, and we're into it. And it's interesting because this has somewhat of a cult following, wouldn't you say? This book?
Yeah, and it has a movie piece to it too.
Yeah. So we were really dying to know
There's a
what
fairy
this book
tale
was like.
battle royale?
It's a lot going on.
Oh,
It's a lot going on. So
Naomi.
I'm probably going to get back into this on Sunday, but and it moves really quickly, you all. It moves really quickly, and
There's
it's pretty
also
great. It's pretty
there's
great.
there's also booty royale.
Oh well,
Never go down without a fight. That's the tagline.
yeah.
I just want you to know that.
I don't. I just realized on my copy it says at the bottom, newly revised text.
Ah.
So that's interesting too.
So I see the novels remastered, but they don't have a bind up of all the manga, but that doesn't matter. We can find all the
Hmm.
manga. Oh, why did we send me down this road? I'm already trying to find that other one.
I don't know. Let's end the
Ugh.
show.
All
Get
right,
Battle
send it.
Royale. Read with us in April. Go to our website, TBR Lowdown, to join the Discord. Thanks for tuning in to
Thank
this live
you.
discussion.
You
Thanks,
ready?
y'all. Yep. Bye.
Bye. Oh, I have to end it.